taking into consideration what I learned from Phil and Honey Rambod, it was a case of like, listen, you're not trying to put so much weight on there that you're going to tear or injure yourself, but you have to get that good bite point just before you get to that 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 rep mark. You've got to get that, push it, get past that 8 to 10 and keep going, and really, really keep going. I sometimes get to about 15, 18 reps. Someone may say you can go to a heavier weight, but when I get to the 12 to 15 mark, it's burning, but I'm still pushing. But what I found with my physique, that is when I looked the best, because that was when I'd get in the size and the volume, but the detail was coming in. And when it came to the detail, that's what I always thought to myself, that's what I want to show, the detail in the striations in the muscle.
So for you, the sweet spot is in terms of rep ranges though, is that 12 to 15-ish.
12 to 15, because I'm 40 now. Yeah. And with what I'm doing, I want to be able to be mobile. I want to be able to be agile still on my feet. So it's not a case of, I'm not trying to put on loads and loads of weight. I don't need to do the 6 to 8. I don't need to do that. Those days are done. Those days were in my 20s and my 30s. And now, because as you get older, you have to be more strategic with your training. You have to look at, okay, cool. Yes, I want to be competitive. Yes, I want to do this and that. However, with what I have built, I've got a foundation. I don't need to be training like I've just started. I want to train like I'm just refining and refinement. That's the main thing now with my age. If I was 20 years younger, I'd be going all out, balls to the walls, heavy. But because I'm older now, people have to understand you have to be mindful, really mindful, the way you're training. And like I said earlier, me coming up, I watched a lot of Phil. I used to watch Phil training for Olympia. There was a video called Becoming 13, and I watched it religiously of multiple preps. And what Phil and Honey Rambod was saying was that you've got to understand that sometimes the mad heavy weight and getting 2 reps out is not worth it. It's better to go slightly lower and get the muscle working. I also advocate FST7. For me, I've used it multiple times. I use it with my clients. I'm not getting paid by Honey Rambod, but it is one of the goats of training systems because it works on multiple levels. The thing is that watching Phil, watching Honey, they kind of like set me into the path of like, listen, you haven't got to go mad heavy. Go heavy. You're working the muscle. Your load has to be comparable to the muscle that you're working. So obviously on quad, you're going to go heavy because it's a big muscle group and you've got to really put the work in. However, am I going to do 2 reps of like 12 plates like I see some guys in the gym that don't grow? Or am I going to go slightly lower and get more of the time under tension? Press, control the negative, press, control the negative. By doing that, you're going to get more muscular growth because just due to time, you've got more time under tension. Am I saying just use that? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying a hybrid workout of both just periodically will work for you. It's just a case that this is just for me. At the end of the day, sometimes I'll go 6 to 8 in a one-off. Well, like might do 2 weeks in every 8 or 10. But it's a point that by using both, you can get the benefits of both. However, as you get older, understand that your joints, that they need protecting. And especially guys, when you hit that 35 mark, you got to think to yourself and think, okay, cool, I want to be competitive. I'm trying to train. However, I can't do what these young guys are doing. These young guys can just do a set of 8 and it's mad heavy. I've got to think logically. I might take it down slightly by 1 plate and then I'll press it for longer and then I'll still grow. And that's the way I see it, man.
That's where Dorian's from, right? Dorian Yates?
Yeah, Dorian's from Birmingham.
Okay, so we're gonna get into that because I'm sure he had an influence on your training or what?
You know what it is, I think? Well, so what it is, it was part of the start, but I kind of evolved just because I looked at the way that Phil and Jay Cutler trained as the way for my way forward. Don't get me wrong,